was a cold and frosty July morn when I kicked the sheets and greeted the dawn. Grabbed my jacket and badge hat too and headed off on my tri-state 500cc of just raw power. Lonely corners, wine by the hours. Classic day, just for a ride with me on my chrome with the world by my side. The world thumper sure, but no flat out and fifth as the taco flows. The vibe they tingle and run the bars. My hands near numb and still no cars. The needle sits on a steady 8-0. The flickers back to a to and fro. I bank her deep into a hairpin bend. Scrape the banks, but it's not the end. Drop down to a lower gear. Hit the throttle and green with fear. I crank her over, then power her on. Scrape the tube, but nothing wrong. Back up again and on the strings. Power her on, then set her straight. There's no place I think I'd rather be than chill in the country on a 500cc. 500cc, 500cc, 500cc. The old thumper sure belts out and no flat out in feet as the taco flows. The vibes they tingle and run the bars. My hands near numb and still no car. There's no place I think I'd rather be than chill in the country in a 500cc. 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 500cc.
Hi guys, and welcome to my channel. I've been waiting almost a year for this bike to arrive. This is the 218 model Royal Enfield in gunmetal grey, the ABS version, and it's here in Australia and arrived here about 2 weeks ago. So it's available for $8,990 right away, which I think is really good value compared to the old version of the drum vac. So I think overall it'll be a really good hit. Like I said, I've been waiting 1 year to get this bike compared to the old style version, so hopefully it'll be well worth the wait. When you compare this bike to the old, the big feature that separates it would be the Thunderbird swing arm. That was the main attraction from it. If you look back at the old C5s, the swing arm was a bit of a problem at times with a bit of rear wheel wobble in some of the older models. Their swing arms were a little bit on the looser side, so it caused a bit of drama. The other good thing about this one, it's got the ABS braking system. The drum brake versions had been known to have rear wheel lock-up on some of them. It was reported worldwide that the braking systems on the drums, on some of them, the nuts and that come loose, or the nut come loose on the back, and some people applied the brakes and got the rear wheel lock-up, which caused a lot of drama. And although I never experienced in any of the C5s I had, for one, I never probably rode them enough, and number two, they were pretty new bikes. Several people experienced a rear wheel lock-up, and it was something that you wouldn't want to, you'd never want to experience, I suppose, but you'd only want to experience it once and you'd never forget it. So I think the good points of this bike, well, I had a choice of two colours. Stealth Black or the Gunmetal Grey. I decided I'd go for the Stealth, not to go for the Stealth Black, because I once had a limited edition green, or the Dispatch green, and it had the blacked out engine bay and the dark colour, and well, I went the Stealth Black. I'd be virtually going close to the same sort of bike again, so I thought Gunmetal Grey would be a bit of a change of colour, so that's the main reason I decided to go Gunmetal Grey. So at this stage the Gunmetal Grey looks pretty good to me, so you know, I bought the bike now, so nothing much I can do about that, but like I said, it sort of looks alright to me, so I think it'll do. And the big plus for me was going for the Thunderbird swing arm. That's something I really wanted to go for, in the ABS braking system. This new bike has also got auto headlight display, so that, in other words, when you turn the ignition on, the headlight comes on automatically. You also get the a remap in the ECU, 2-channel, the braking system is 2-channel ABS. So I think overall it'll be interesting to see how it rides, how it handles. I already noticed straight off, last year I had the 2017 Graphite C5, and already I noticed this bike leans over a lot more on the side stand than the other one, so there's a little bit different there. So it leans a bit more off the side stand. It's got that screw-on gas cap compared to the old key flip style. So overall, it also, I noticed the cat is sitting in the header pipe there on the exhaust pipe, and it's got a different style muffler on it too. So there's a few changes on the bike itself, so it'll be interesting to see how it rides. And apart from that, the bike, like all C5s, virtually looks the same. So you know, it may be a case you've been on one, you've been on an all, and I've been on quite a lot of C5s, so it'll be interesting to see if I can notice the difference, because like I said, I've been on a lot of C5s, and although I've never been on any second-hand C5s, they're all been new ones. It'll be interesting to see how this, if this rides any different than any other bike I've been on. And the thing about C5s, none of them ride the same, they all ride different, so you can't just get on one C5 and get on another one and you say they're both are different. They all ride different, they all vibrate different, and they're all virtually got a temperament of their own, and they're all put together different, so it depends, I think, on what day you buy them and how well they're put together, whether you get a good one or a bad one. So it'll be interesting to see if, for me, bike number 11 is a good bike or a bad bike. So time will tell on this one, and I'm going to run this through probably a 10 episode thing or something like that, and we'll see how this bike goes. And I'll probably, I don't know, maybe do some mods to it or something like that, and sort of jazz it up a bit, throw a sports exhaust on it later on, and see if I can get a bit of go out of it. You know, there's not much you can really do, and you can put a bit of a add fuel system on it, sports exhaust or something like that. You know, they only put out 27 horsepower, but you know, you can get them to run pretty well for what they are, and you can have a lot of fun on these bikes. So you're not going to go out and break any wheel speed records, but I think you can have a lot of fun on them. And you know, for the price of $9,000 right away, I think you get pretty good value for money. So, or here in Australia compared to other bikes. And I wouldn't call them, you know, the earlier models. Some of the early models, when you buy them, you had a lot of problems with them, and they were really, I'd class them as heaps of shits and heap of shit, and you had to keep fixing them all the time. And I found that as you buy the newer ones, they get better and better all the time, and I think they're bikes that you can have a lot of fun with. So you know, as I say, you can get caught maybe once or twice, but you can't keep getting caught continuous. So if I didn't think they were worth buying, I wouldn't just go out of my way and keep buying them for no reason at all. So I think this hopefully should be a good bike with the improvements, especially with the ABS braking system, and the most important thing, that Thunderbird swing arm, because that is the thing I've been really keen to get on one of these bikes and try, and that will be long term the keenest part. I've been really interested in the idea of seeing how that bike handles with that, because I think that should tighten up the back end of the bike, and I think it should swing through the bends a lot better than what the old bike did. And I don't think it'll help much on vibration, any of these bikes. They all vibrate one way or the other, and sometimes you get a good one. I've had out of the bikes I've had, I've only ever had 2 of the bikes that had very little vibration, but I've had a lot of bikes that have vibrated quite a lot, and a couple of bikes that vibrate very little, and a lot of them sitting in the intermediate. But you can do things like put in heavier bar end weights and other sorts of things to sort of tone them down a bit. But apart from that, well, it's very hard to get a bike like these that sort of look the part, 50-year-old, and you can get out there and enjoy yourself and have a bit of fun and come back and say, well, that was a good afternoon, and get on the bike the next day and piss off out and do it all over again. So hopefully you might tune in onto the videos as we do the run-in and a few mods on the way through, and you might think yourself, might be worth your trouble tuning in and see how things go. And once again, thanks for looking.